Grüße. Today we are going to have a look at Azure DevOps, Git and Unreal, how to combine those three for you to be able to share projects with other people. You can create an account on this website here. I will share the link in the description of the video as well. After creating an account, you can create the project. I will name my project Unreal, but you can name it whatever working title you have chosen for your project. When we have created the project, we can see on the left side repository or repos. Here we can later on commit new files so they can be shared between different people. In our launcher we can create a new project. We can choose whatever template we want, the location we want, and choose a working title for our project again. I will leave it at this for now. Here we have a first person template. If we open the project location in our Explorer, we can see here all our files. To create a new Git project, we can go into the console, write git init. This creates a Git folder, and with that created, we can go into our graphical user interface of choice for Git. I usually use source tree. Here we can press on the plus tab on the top, create a new project, and under add we can browse to our project. I selected our project, and if I edit, I see all the files that are in the folder that would be committed. There are some files we need, everything in the content folder, and some files we do not want to commit because those are automatically generated when we start the project. For that, we can create a gitignore file. I simply found this by googling gitignore Unreal. I will also post a link in the video description. If we copy the contents and we create a new file, you need to have the file extensions activated to be able to change those. It's called .gitignore. And if we paste the contents in here and save, we can go back into source tree, and if we press F5, we see all the files we do not want are gone now. In addition, we do not usually you work with source code files with Git, so those you could simply commit, or text files. Git is built for those files, but for binary files that get bigger, we should use Git LFS, Git large file storage, and it uploads the binary files to the server and replaces them in the Git repositories with pointers to those files. It makes working with bigger repositories easier for the server and for the clients as well. We can click on repository in the top, click Git LFS and initialize repository, start using Git LFS. Here we can press add, and here we will add the extension name of the files we would like to add. So for Unreal projects it's usually star.uasset, star.umap, and we might add compiled binary files libraries as well, depending on what libraries we use in the project. With this, the basic setup is done, but you could add start.dll as well. Track files. We see this creates git attributes files, and with that the server knows that the uasset files should be treated differently than all the other files. If we click on stage, all the changes we have are prepared for a commit. We can say initial commit. You can write here whatever changes you did. So for example, if you update your first person character and you implement a new gun, for example, you can write implemented new gun, just so you'll later know what changed with that commit. If we commit here, we see we have an initial commit and on the master branch, and this means locally we have committed it, but now we want to add the remote repository. For that we click on repository and repository settings. Here we can add a remote. If we go back to the website of Azure DevOps, we can copy this URL here, and if we go back to source tree and paste it into this field here and check default remote, we can add it. And if we press push, we can push our local branch to the remote branch. This might open up a pop-up where you can enter your account data that you created before. This might take some time to upload. After the upload is done, we see that our local branch and our remote branch are on the same level. And if we open the website again, we can now see here, if we click on repos, that all of our files that are relevant, we are committed to the repository. Now we can look under project settings, teams, the project name team, click on that, and here you can add other people of your group so you can work together. As soon as we go into our project and we open a blueprint and we change something in the blueprint, so for example I can create a custom event here and do something, and if I compile that and save that, I've changed something. We can go back into our project and see here that this file has changed. Because uassets are binary files, you should usually abstain from editing the same files at the same time, so it's good to talk with each other who is working on what, and after you are done with your changes you can stage them again, press commit, write whatever you changed, so added function. Normally this should be a bit more of a substantial change. You commit it and you can push it again onto the server. And to check what changed on the server, you can just press fetch. When other people have committed something, then there will be commits after this one, and to pull down those changes you can press pull and pull the changes. It's not gonna pull anything right now because there's nothing else committed, but he's still going to look. It's also good to close Unreal Engine before pulling or pushing new changes. Generally it's safer to work with Git while the Unreal Engine is closed. Often it works, but sometimes files are locked, sometimes files are not saved properly if you didn't close it. So you can avoid a lot of headache when you just close the engine before committing or pulling or pushing changes. This is the basic functionality of what you are going to need to work together on a project in Unreal. Bye bye.